The first scream of
Whoa,
2026
look
didn't
at
come
those
from a celebration
fireworks.
or a drunk crowd or fireworks gone wrong.
Wait,
It
what
came
was
from
that?
a voicemail that arrived at exactly 1 a.m., recorded in a voice that should not have existed anymore. The message was only 6 seconds long. Breathing, wet, panicked. And then my name, whispered like a warning being forced through a broken throat. I didn't listen to it again. I didn't need to. I recognized the sound instantly. I'd spent 3 years trying to forget it. That voice belonged to my sister, Hannah. Hannah had been declared dead on the 14th of February, 2024. The police said it was an accident. Exposure. The paperwork said a misadventure. The mountain said nothing at all. Now, as fireworks cracked outside my London flat and strangers kissed in the street below, my phone vibrated once more. Another voicemail. Same timestamp, same number, my own. I stood there frozen, the taste of champagne souring in my mouth, listening to the city welcome a new year while something old, something buried clawed its way back into my life. I didn't call the police. I didn't call a friend. I did the one thing I promised myself I never would. I pressed play. The second message was longer. "Hear me," Hannah said, her voice thin, stretched as if spoken through water. "You started it. You have to finish it." Midnight wasn't the beginning. It was permission. The line went dead. Outside, the fireworks stopped all at once. Not faded. Not drifted away. They stopped, as if someone had pulled the plug on the sky. The silence that followed felt deliberate. That was when I noticed the calendar on my kitchen wall. The date read, January 1st, 2026. Written underneath, in my own handwriting, were 4 words I had no memory of writing. Don't let her in. I didn't sleep that night. Every sound in the flat felt amplified. Pipes ticking, floorboards creaking, the hum of the fridge breathing in the dark. My phone stayed face down on the table like a sleeping animal that might wake if touched. At 3:17 a.m., the doorbell rang. I didn't move. At 3:18, it rang again. At 3:19, someone knocked. Slow, careful, polite. The building intercom crackled to life by itself. "Hear me," Hannah's voice said, clearer now. Closer. I'm cold. I backed away until my shoulders hit the kitchen counter. My mind scrambled for logic, prank, breakdown, some sick coincidence. But my body knew better. My body remembered the way the air had changed the last time I heard that voice. I didn't answer. I didn't breathe. Eventually, the knocking stopped. At dawn, I opened the door. The corridor was empty. No footprints. No sign anyone had been there. But taped neatly to my door was a folded piece of paper, yellowed and damp around the edges. Inside was a photograph. Me, Hannah, and the man standing between us. None of us were smiling. I knew the picture. I'd taken it myself, years ago in a place the police never found. The Hollow. That was what Hannah had called it. A stretch of forest in Northumberland where sound behaved strangely and compasses refused to settle. Locals avoided it. Animals wouldn't cross into it. Phones lost signal. Time felt elastic. We'd gone there chasing a story. One last investigation before Hannah planned to quit journalism for good. She said she was tired of chasing darkness. I should have listened. The man in the photograph wasn't local. He'd appeared on the trail without a sound, tall and narrow, wearing boots without laces, and a coat too thin for the cold. He hadn't introduced himself. He hadn't needed to. He already knew our names. He spoke about thresholds, about years ending, about doors that only open when enough people are looking the other way. New Year's Eve, he said, was the easiest. We laughed then. Nervous, dismissive laughter, the kind people use when they don't want to admit they're afraid. That night, Hannah went into the Hollow alone. She never came back. The search teams found her backpack miles away, bone dry despite the rain. Her boots were placed neatly side by side near a frozen stream. There were no tracks leading away, and now her voice was in my flat. At 9:00 a.m., my phone rang again. Unknown number. I answered before I could stop myself. You shouldn't have listened, the man said. His voice was exactly as I remembered. Calm, amused, layered with something underneath that didn't belong to any human throat. "Where is she?" I asked. There was a pause, then soft laughter. "Where she's always been. Where you left her." I didn't. "You opened the year," he interrupted. "You listened. You looked. You invited." The call ended. By midday, the news started reporting strange incidents. Emergency lines flooded with reports of voices coming through televisions, doorbells ringing with no one there, loved ones thought dead calling from old numbers. Most were dismissed as hoaxes. Grief does strange things, the experts said. By evening, 3 people were dead. One had jumped from a tower block after receiving a text from his mother, buried 10 years prior. Another had walked into the Thames following whispered directions only he could hear. The third had been found frozen in her bath, smiling. The headlines didn't connect them. I did. At 11:40 p.m. My phone buzzed one final time. A message from Hannah. He's lying. Midnight is the lock. You're the key. Outside, the city began to gather again. Another countdown. Another excuse to look away. I knew what I had to do. At 11:55, I left my flat. The streets were alive with noise and color. People spilling drinks and resolutions. Faces lit by screens and sparks. No one noticed me heading north away from the river. Away from the noise. Towards a place I swore I would never return. The hollow was waiting. It always was. The trees leaned inward now, closer than before. The air tasted metallic. My phone lost signal the moment I crossed the tree line, but it didn't go dark. The screen glowed faintly, showing the time. 11:58. I reached the clearing where Hannah had vanished. The man stood there just as before. "You're late," he said. "You let her go." He smiled. "I can't. But you can join her." The ground beneath my feet pulsed like something breathing just below the surface. I could hear voices now. Dozens of them, murmuring, pleading, accusing. Midnight approached. "You don't understand," he said softly. "This year needs stories. It needs witnesses." I thought of Hannah's voice breaking through static and darkness just to warn me. At 11:59, I stepped forward. "I understand enough," I said, and smashed my phone against the stone at my feet. The screaming stopped. The forest recoiled. The man's smile faltered for the first time. Midnight came without ceremony. No fireworks, no applause, just a deep, settling silence. When I woke, it was daylight. I was alone. Hannah's voice never returned. Neither did the calls. The reports stopped. The deaths were written off as coincidence, tragedy, the weight of a new year pressing too hard on old wounds. The hollow is gone now, burned, bulldozed, erased. But every New Year's Eve at 12:01 a.m., my phone vibrates. No message, no call, just a reminder. Some doors don't open, they wait. And some years don't begin. They are allowed.